Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, April 7th of 2019. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. And what a better way to create peace and sustainability than through acknowledgement and gratitude. And, you know, I know like this whole gratitude thing has gotten to be something that we throw around, and it almost becomes just like such a mental thing that we don't really, it doesn't carry quite the same impact as it did at first somehow. But today, I want us to really, God willing, if we can, to feel it, to embody it, to sense it and express it within ourselves, and to feel the benefits that we receive when we express it, whether it's for ourselves or for someone else, because it really is a powerful, powerful act. The act of acknowledging and expressing gratitude is really powerful. It's powerful to the person that receives it from you, and it's powerful to you when you express it and feel it and just really let it be a part of you. It's a very powerful experience. I love the quote from Meister Eckhart. It says, "If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough." If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. You know I say this, I talk a lot about having moved in with my dad a year and a half ago now, and being back in the place where I grew up after many, many years of being away. And when I was in elementary school, I went to school with pretty much a core group of students. So most of us that it was a small Catholic school, maybe 20 students. And most of us went to school together from from kindergarten through sixth grade. And that, boy, we really formed a bonded, powerful group. And after, it's been about 45 years since then, a group of us got together yesterday, and we took our sixth grade teacher to lunch. She was very special to all of us, I think. She was firm, and yet she was loving. You know, she wanted to, she knew you could do it. She believed in you. She had this powerful trust in you that you could make it. And she was going to hold you to it. And she was going to really set you up for success and make sure you followed through. And she really, really cared about each and every one of us being successful. And I'm not kidding. She's 83 years old now. And this has been quite a long time ago. We were her students. And yet it was amazing because she remembered each and every one of us. She remembered our siblings who also went through the school. She remembered our parents. She remembered, and not only our class, she was like, oh, and this one, I think they were a year behind you, and this one was a year ahead of you, and da-da-da. And she remembered everything about everybody. And boy, I tell you, it was an amazing experience to, we sat for hours and talked and just got caught up on everybody's lives and what's happening. And it was just really sweet. And one of our classmates brought her flowers, and we got to treat her for the day. And it was really special to, just to get to know her as a person, because in elementary school, you kind of think your teachers must live there. They probably sleep in the closet or something, because that's the only life of them that you know. But no, she's a real human being. And, I say that in jest, but, just thinking back of how she was viewed at the time versus what we're getting to learn of her now. And it was a lot of fun, and it really lit her up, and it really lit us up, and it brought us together in a special way. And it was such an honor to be able to give that gift of acknowledgement and gratitude and honor back to someone who made a difference in our lives so many years ago. It was really special, and it really brought this home for me. And gratitude is something that is, it's very special, because every human being, one of our core basic needs as human beings is to have purpose, to matter, to have meaning, to know that our existence has purpose. And how many people do you meet, or have you been one of these people? I know I was, that grows up thinking that, well, somehow God made a mistake and you weren't really supposed to be here because you just felt like your existence didn't really serve any purpose or have any meaning. And in fact, it was like a nuisance to people, or somehow not a good thing. And that can happen. And it does happen a lot, because, how often do we get busy and we dismiss people, or we don't take the time to acknowledge them. And, and especially with kids, since I've been here, I've been helping out with my nephew's children. And, at the time, I guess they were like 3 and 5 and 8, and now they're 4 and 7 and 10, something like that. But what I'm really come to witness, and I'm sure, most of you, if you're parents or, you've had an opportunity to witness this, but what's really come home being with these children on a daily basis is that the more you can set up opportunities for them to have little bitty successes, where you can have the opportunity to then acknowledge them and thank them, it's an extremely powerful experience for their little developing personalities and developing psyches. And it's one that, it's important, extremely important for children. Even if you have to make stuff up, just make stuff up for them to do, or to, help with. Give them a role, give them something that they can just, to carry something in from the car, even if it's something little that they can barely, get in something little and light that they can help carry in when you're carrying things in. And then you can take it from them and say, thank you, that was awesome, you did great. Just to reinforce that, every little opportunity that we can get is putting something into their psyche and into their belief about themselves. It's giving them a sense of purpose, a sense that they matter, that they make a difference, that they can have a positive impact and a positive influence on the family, on their environment, on people. And that is fulfilling, internally fulfilling. It gives so much. And know that when we can do that for others, when you can do that for others, you are making a difference, which is fulfilling. It gives you that purpose, that you matter, that you can give a gift that is a gift that keeps on giving. And this is gratitude. This is gratitude, and I think it's one of the best things that we can do for people. And I wrote an email even with my dad at 96 years old, and when I moved in here, it was just before his 95th birthday, and he was not well at the time. He since had a surgery that turned things around from him, and he's doing great now. But the even like little things that I've noticed. When we moved in here, I moved in with my cat, and he took a liking to her, which was very unusual for him because, of course, he was the tough guy when we were growing up that couldn't like cats. But he does now, and he can now. And he likes to give her treats. And of course, you know how cats are, or if you don't know how cats are, I'll tell you, cats have a time clock, an alarm clock, an internal alarm clock like no other, and they will, like my cat, will go on a regular scheduled basis and ask for treats when it's time. And she expects him to be there at his chair at those times. And if not, she will either go find him or wait for him and let him know that it's time for her treats. So we have the treats set up by his chair where he watches television. He can give her treats. And so, you know, it's just like I take advantage of that opportunity too, to just say the words thank you. And I think this came from learning and doing the Ho'oponopono practice, just recognizing the power of thank you and what that does. Just saying those words as often as you can to the people that you care about, even if you have to set up situations so that you have a true opportunity to say it. It's an extremely healing, powerfully healing act to just say thank you. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. It's Meister Eckhart. So who are the people who have made a difference in your life? Who are the people whose lives you want to positively impact? Let's come into our prayer and healing circle. Let's all gather into our circle the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. Let's come together sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee. And let's take a full and gentle breath together. And as you take that nice inhale, inhaling into your heart space, as you exhale, bring your heart center to face the center of our circle. That pole at the center, the hub at the center of our wheel. And together from our hearts, let's call on our source, most merciful, ever compassionate, calling on that essence of pure divine light. Nur. And just imagine, feel, perceive that stream of pure divine light as it streams into the center of our circle, a gentle but powerful waterfall of pure divine light. Bringing that in, allowing that in, feeling that essence streaming into your heart. And just let your funnel of energy from the front of your heart space, just let that tip up slightly and catch that stream and allow that stream to flow gently into the center of your heart space. Let that stream enter into your heart center, and with your breath, draw that in even deeper into your heart space. And as you exhale, relax, release, soften, and let your tissues and your heart space just absorb and drink that in. And calling on the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on your essence of your pure, unconditional love. And just feel this love streaming in with this pure divine light. Streaming into the center of our circle, pouring in. And again, let this flow into your heart center. Streaming into your heart. And with your breath, inhale that in, taking it in deeply into your heart space. Let your heart face directly to this light and this love and say yes. Yes and thank you. Yes and thank you. I receive you. And bringing our hearts together again, calling on our source, calling on that essence of eternal compassion, the existence of compassion that we subsist in this earthly realm. It may sound like a far cry at times, but it's true. We're swimming in an ocean, and that ocean is the ocean of pure, eternal compassion. The compassion that is not dependent on our time and space reality, but the compassion that is ever existent, always present, and always available. We can tap into it, we can receive it, we can feel it for ourselves, and we can share it with others. We can find it for others to bridge the gaps between the things, the divides that separate us. So just imagine, perceive, feel this stream of pure divine light, of unconditional love, of eternal compassion streaming into the center of our circle, streaming into your heart. Breathing this into your heart center with each breath. As you exhale, relax, release, and soften. Let your exhale carry out and wash away any of the excess clutter, any of the blocks and barriers that are just hanging out there in the way that you don't need anymore. Just let those be washed away, carried back into the center of our circle, and just purified in the depths of the divine ocean of light and love and compassion that fills the container of our virtual circle. And as you inhale, draw this essence, divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion into your heart space. Each breath taking it deeper and deeper into your heart center. And again, let yourself lean back gently into your body, toward the front of your spine, into your vertical core, and to let yourself just be showered by this vibration of pure divine light, of unconditional love, of eternal compassion. Let this come into the core of your being and light you up. Let that vibration light up the internal knowing that is at the core of your existence, your divine essence, your divine light, your unconditional love, your eternal compassion that is at the core of your being, your life force. And allow yourself to feel your heart. Breathing into your heart center, allow yourself to feel your heart. Now bring the question in now. Who are the people who have made a difference in your life? The people that you feel grateful for? Let that well up from inside of you. Let your heart feel the gratitude. And let's call them, if they will, and if there is permission for them. And this is for people who are still on the planet or not, still in body or not. doesn't matter. Let's call their spirits into the center of our circle and invite them. Invite them to be honored in this moment. And as they come up for you, just say their names into the center of our circle. And we'll make space and hold space for them to enter into this container of divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. It is the container of our prayer and healing circle. And allow your heart to sincerely and authentically feel the appreciation. And if there's something specific that you would like to acknowledge about them, you can speak that into the center of the circle as well. I'm going to leave a moment of silence here for us to really gather and speak from your heart what it is that you want to speak to the people that you are calling. And I'll ask also, for the children in your life that you want to have an impact with, that you want to create acknowledgement and appreciation for their little hearts and their little souls and spirits, I invite you to call their names and give acknowledgement for them in the center of our circle as well. And continue to breathe in that essence of divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion as we continue to invite and hold and allow their hearts and their spirits to join us in this container, this powerful container of light and love and compassion. Now, if we want to call on one of the divine qualities that is the grateful, the receptive, the understanding, this is the quality of Ash-Shakur. Shakur is spelled S as in Sam, H, S-H like sh, A-K-U-R, K as in king. So that's S-H-A-K-U-R, Ash-Shakur, the grateful, the receptive, the understanding. Let's let that quality of Ash-Shakur, let's let it enter into our hearts and increase our ability to generously acknowledge and appreciate those around us. Ash-Shakur comes from the root that means to thank, to be thankful, grateful, to praise. Thankfulness, gratitude, acknowledgement. Because of its sound code, and I'm reading this from Fauzia's book, The Divine Names, the 99 Healing Names of the One Love. Because of its sound code, Ash-Shakur belongs to those names whose influence penetrates most deeply. It can open the connection to our true self, where grateful love enables us to enter again the dance of the joy of life, and where our eyes turn away from flaws, from that which is lacking, and realize the abundance. Let me read that one again. Because of its sound code, Ash-Shakur belongs to those names whose influence penetrates most deeply. Ash-Shakur can open the connection to our true self, where grateful love enables us to enter again the dance of joy of life, and where our eyes turn away from flaws, from that which is lacking, and realize abundance. Ash-Shakur. So for those who have entered into the center of our circle, and let me say, if there's something that you want to acknowledge and appreciate about yourself, you're welcome to call that in as well. And know that the thanking, when it generously comes from and moves through your heart, is rewarding the thanker. It rewards the thanker and the thankee, the giver and the receiver. It is truly the gift that keeps on giving. So that quality again is Ash-Shakur, the sound code for the grateful, the thankful, the receptive, the understanding. Ash-Shakur. So call on that vibration of Ash-Shakur. 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 Let it extend to the people that you want to show acknowledgement and appreciation for. And if you haven't already, let the acknowledgement, if you have something specific that you want to acknowledge, let that specificity, express that specificity. You can do that in words or write it down, whatever you're most comfortable with. But it's powerful to be specific and to acknowledge the deeds and the acts of the people that make a difference, even in the little bitty subtle ways, because as we acknowledge even the subtle, it's like we draw that out. It's like energy flows where attention goes, and where we put the attention, it shines the light. It makes the space for that to grow larger and stronger. In taking hand with my teacher, he gives each one of us a name, and the name is a reflection of your core essence, your inner essence. And he encourages us to use those names, to use our names. And the reason for this is not so that we can say, okay, we're special because we belong to this little, clique, but it is so that because in the sacred language, when you use the names in the sacred language, the words that you speak carry the vibration of the thing that it names. So Ashakur carries the vibration of gratitude, of thankfulness, of acknowledgement and understanding. Ashakur. And when you call someone by their name, a name that represents their inner essence, their core divine essence, then you're speaking that vibration to them, and it's calling it forth. So that as you call that forth from them, it calls forth their inner essence. And it helps them to shine more brightly and to more strongly and firmly be who they are created to be in this world. Our language and our sound is powerful. Sound healing is it's really getting traction these days in terms of being a valid healing modality, healing with sound vibration. And think about it. In our words that we speak on a daily basis, we have an opportunity to be expressing and sharing the vibrations of sound healing with every word we speak. So calling forth in whatever words you use, whether you know a sacred language or not, but with your intention and with your words, calling forth the true inner essence of someone, calling forth that which can help them to blossom and bloom and grow and anchor in their highest and most valuable qualities. We live in this world of contrast, and so, yes, it's all valuable on one hand, and some are going to make the path easier than others, let's say. So when we can acknowledge each other with gratitude, with appreciation, with something very concrete and specific, it calls forth. It's like it hits that, wow, there's an honesty here, there's a truth here, there's something I can really anchor onto here, and it draws forth that inner essence of their light, of their strength. And it makes them strong in their favorable qualities, shall we say. So, Ashakur, 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 Ashakur. As you say this, it resonates through your own core, and it emanates from you and is expressed to those that you've called to acknowledge and appreciate today, even in spirit. Ashakur, 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 Ashakur. It's truly healing for those that we've called in. Ashakur, 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 Ashakur. 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 There's a lot of healing and movement happening in the center of our circle. Ashakur. 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 And now, again, call on your source, call on your highest, your guides, and just ask, is there something that you may be guided to act, to take some action, to express in this material realm that you can take into your life and express or do or say something to acknowledge and give appreciation to someone, perhaps someone you've called here or someone that you may have not thought about yet, or even for yourself. And just ask and let yourself feel in your heart and feel what wells up, feel what kind of, perhaps pictures come to you or words or just a knowing. We all receive differently. Give a moment of silence for that, for you to just receive any guidance, anything that you may be called to do. Shakur. And again, breathing in Ashakur, breathing in the divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And let's take a moment now and give thanks to our source, to the One, as thanking and the sincere feeling of gratitude opens the heart even more deeply and allows the blessings to anchor in even more deeply in the cellular consciousness, in the internal knowing, the conscious and subconscious knowing. So feel the gratitude. Let your heart bow in gratitude to the source, the life force that moves through all. Gratitude unites the material and the subtle world, the heavens and the earth, and makes the world into a place filled with wonders. That's from Fauzia's book also. Gratitude unites the material and the subtle world, the heavens and the earth, and makes the world into a place filled with wonders. Wonders. There's a poem from Rumi, a Rumi poem that says, "Free will is trying to thank God for his favors." A great use of our will is to use it for gratitude. And there's one more quote I'll read here. This is from the prophet David, peace be upon him, said, "O God, how can I thank you when I can only do so thanks to a further blessing which you have given me?" How can I thank you when I can only do so thanks to a further blessing which you have given me? And the divine answer came up in him. Once you know this, you have thanked me. This is the response he received. Once you know this, you have thanked me. So that's an acknowledgement of the gift that gratitude is in and of itself. So as we acknowledge that and we give thanks, let's receive. And, if you want to, if you did receive some guidance of something that you can do, take a moment and write that down for yourself. And if you feel so called, make a commitment to yourself to follow through on that. Where do you want to take that in your life? And let yourself, it's powerful. It's powerful to follow through on those things. Shakur. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for being here and being a part of this Sunday morning programming. For those who show up live and for those who listen to the recording. I am filled with gratitude that you are here and that I can feel purpose. It's even a little bit hard to acknowledge that I want to feel gratitude because I feel purpose. Without you here, of course, I'd just be doing it myself, which would, still be fun, but not nearly as fun as having a group to share it with. And I love the feedback, and I love the comments and the questions that come in. And don't ever think that your words and your expressions and your comments and questions don't matter, because they do. They're very powerful, very powerful. And I know that for every one that is shared, every comment, every question, everything that comes in, there are others who are touched and impacted by that sharing. So thank you for that as well. And with that, let's just make sure we're grounded in the body. Let your conscious body come and take a seat into your physical space. And stretch out your toes, your feet, circle your ankles, and feel your presence all the way into your feet. Feel your feet on the earth and your energy connecting in with the earth. So that you can be the light, the love, the compassion, and the gratitude embodied in your physicality and shining upon our beautiful planet Earth. With that, I will open up for a Q&A and bring the recording to a close. If you are listening to the recording, I thank you for listening and invite you to join us on Sundays live at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find the information on how to join us at joyfullylivingwellness.com, joyfullylivingwellness.com. While you're there, you can pick up your copy of the 10 Spiritual Principles of Our Human Existence, which is a one sheet that tells you a reminder of what this life journey is and what we're doing here and who we are, because we have way too many things in this world that tell us otherwise, that draw us deeper into the world of illusion, where we lose ourselves, and we owe it to ourselves to remind ourselves as often as possible of these truths so that we can truly be the light, the love, the compassion that we want to see in the world. All right. Thank you very much. With that, I'm ending the recording and opening for Q&A.